Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Quilter's Apothecary. Today we are doing our amazing continuation of our wonderful Featherweight Fun series. And I am of course with the Featherweight Fairy, Mimi Dearden, and we are continuing with the next part here, which you see in the captions. So strap in, enjoy, get out your featherweight, after you watch completely all the parts, of course, because we want you to watch everything all the way through before you tackle anything. That way you're just a little more versed before you start to dive in. All right, let us begin. So we are going to be oiling next. We got in trouble, didn't we?
Yes. Okay. When I changed that light bulb out, I'm kind of a corner cutter by nature. That's who I am. That's why people like Jamie, who are incredible attention to detail, are so helpful to me. And Rich, okay? And afterward, Rich said, you know, you changed that light bulb out without unplugging the machine. That was really dangerous. So, yeah. Now we're going to start maintenance, ordinary maintenance. But by all means, the first thing you do, unplug. And preferably at the wall too, okay? So that was really dumb of me. Fortunately, nothing bad happened, but yeah, yet. So thank you, Rich, for reminding me, because these are the kind of mistakes.
Is my hair standing on end?
Mostly, yeah. See, I went bald. Even it's not just my gray roots. I lost hair in that deal. Yeah. So I am a corner cutter. I often do silly things like that. That's dumb. Don't be like me.
Unplug your machine.
Unplug it. How hard is it?
I do the same thing all the time, though. So
yeah, the whole thing was open. If
Thank you,
the
Mr.
dog
Ritchie.
had stepped on the presser foot,
Yep.
the gears would have, could have hurt somebody.
Yep.
If that bulb had broken in her hands, I don't know what might not have happened. Now, I want to add another little tidbit that we learned from Rich. For some reason, he's a little shy about expressing it himself, is that the reason these ancient incandescent bulbs lasted so long is they are a bayonet base, if that's the correct word for it.
Is that correct, Rich? Bayonet?
Okay, so they have these little
Side camera.
Okay, right there. They have these little pins, okay,
Knobs.
rather than this usual screw base. Okay, so we're going to do regular maintenance. Which you certainly should do when you get your sewing machine. You certainly should do it when you are, it's been sitting for a while. And then there's some oiling, especially the bobbin, that you should do every time you sew. It's kind of like your long arm, like when either every day, or if people think, okay, every bobbin or two or whatever.
But I got to tell you, it took me getting my long arm years ago. Well, I didn't sew much until I got a long arm. I had a long arm before I had a sewing machine. But it took me doing the long arm, and I've heard so many people say this, and oiling it all the time to know, oh, I guess I should do that to my sewing machine on occasion.
Oil is cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And modern sewing machines, they have like those little reservoirs. That's why you need to take it into your dealer to change that out. Have an oil change. They have those reservoirs that maybe with wicks or whatever they do.
But on a home machine, it's so funny how many people I come across that say, yeah, I oil about once every 6 months. It's like, oh my gosh. Well, but you hear that so often.
Yeah.
And now long armors, it's totally different.
Well, I wouldn't do that with the bobbin.
Right. Yeah.
There's just a lot of motion there.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
There's, there are, umpteen oil spots, but most of them don't. Out, right? That's great. Most of them don't require oiling.
Well, that's another question.
Time.
Am I allowed to pull that backwards, or that's not a? That's a no-no,
I wouldn't. But it is connected. So let's cut the thread.
Okay.
Do you have the scissors there?
Snips.
Yeah, I don't. I guess. On my fancy embroidery machine, I pull the thread.
Yeah, you're right.
That way.
And I've heard that that's the best
not all the time. No, not all the time. We're going to remove the thread and the bobbin case, and we're going to just do the maintenance. I would oil your bobbin race every time you sew. At least once a day. And if you're bored, more. It will do no harm.
Okay.
The rest of them, they don't need to be every time. Every couple of months, or if it's been sitting for a while. If you're going to take it on a so day, why not? If you get the oiler out, to oil the whole thing. And then when it's all really nicely oiled, it's just super quiet. It's a super pleasant experience.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so the most important place to oil of this entire machine is your bobbin. Okay, so if you can see this bobbin assembly,
I'm gonna zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
How's that?
So you can see there's just a lot of there's a lot of high speed motion. This is just me twirling it with my hand. Okay, so it's the same on your long arm. There's these little, they're not visible on all my machines, but you see on this space right here, there's these little teeth, I call them. These little open spaces. That's where that's where you put the oil. And on my Amara-like machine, I can see these teeth. On my other one that's more like the Simply 16, I can't. So that's where you oil it, okay? And I would do this every time you sew. Does no harm. And if you're into like every bobbin, find a routine that works for you.
Do you ever clean that out with anything, or is that not necessary?
You know what? It probably could use a cleaning. Because I do see some built up oil will turn to like varnish, kind of gluey.
Sure. And
I do see a little bit of stuff there, and we probably could clean it.
So probably like if you were going to do that, maybe a Q-tip or something.
A little bit of acetone,
okay.
A brush. This is not really. I have some cleaner little modern toothbrushes, or you pull the whole thing off and put it in an ultrasonic cleaner.
Okay.
But then you'd have to retime, which is a pain in the neck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, in the interest, you might want to do it once when you first get your machine, so it's super good. But you know what? It's doing no harm. Could it be cleaner? Sure. But it's not holding anything up. It's not freezing up. So it's not necessary, but it probably would be good. So if there's ever a reason to open this up, that'd be a good time to clean it.
Perfect. So wait for the opportunity when it arises.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You'd have to retime it, which is not hard, but a lot of people might be intimidated by that. And that, I don't want to do that. It's doing no harm. If this were maybe when we get into the other machine, we might need to, okay, this is filthy. We're going to take it apart. We're going to deal with it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So that's oiling the bobbin, the most important part. Okay. So then there's all the rest. And you just kind of follow a bunch
zoom out
of oil ports, okay? So I start on the top, just no big deal.
How's that, Mr. Ritchie? How's that angle?
Okay, so you can be completely guided by these ports, okay? They're these little, this first one here, put a drop of oil, okay? This is kind of greasy, you can see it because you oil there. Okay, is there another port here? Not inside there. There is. We're going to lubricate this. The gears take the lube. The high-speed places take the machine oil. Okay, so I put it in that port, and I got it on this. I don't even know what to call it. Looks almost like a bearing, but it's probably not.
Maybe a bush. No.
This spinny silver thing. There's the technical term. Okay, this just rotates off and on. Then there's another port here. Easy. I mean, you just look for the ports. There's a port here. And then this is the needle port. Just put a lot in there. So we've done the top. That was easy. That took a minute, not even.
So right there?
Just into that hole. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I never would have thought of that.
Okay, so then there's two ports on the back. So if we set it down flat. Okay, these ones I miss all the time. I forget about them. They don't exist. A handy dandy Harbor Freight washcloth. Okay, there's two on the right, right here and right here. I forget about them all the time. But these are important. It's a high-speed spot where There's a shaft there, and you want it spinning freely. I forget about them all the time. I didn't today. This is not an oil port. This is just an access port for a repair person to be able to get a screwdriver in there. So that you don't oil that. Later, we will lube the motor. Do not ever put oil in this port, or there's another port that takes lube only. If I know I said it before, if you put machine oil in there, your motor will start to If you put sewing machine oil in there, you will probably ruin your motor. It'll start to smoke. It's just not the right lubricant for the motor.
Got it.
You may lose your motor. You may have to replace it, or at best, you need to take it to a professional to have them.
You can get a new motor, right?
There's a lot of them on eBay. They're not rare.
Okay.
So if
do they have them at Featherweight Shop?
I believe they do.
Cool. So,
yeah.
Okay.
If you bought a featherweight it's 220 instead of 110, you can replace. You can convert it to 110. Not a difficult thing.
Okay.
If you bought a sewing machine that someone had used the wrong current for, and the light and the motor are burned out, you can easily replace those items.
Okay. Great.
So they're not rare, but row away from the rock. Do not use sewing machine oil in them.
Okay. Do I flip it over now for you?
Now we're going to go to this side.
Now you want to go to the front?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into here. Okay, so this is like a lot of the noise generated from a sewing machine is right in this side.
And by the way, I'm going to ask this just because I know people are paranoid. They think of refrigerators. I can turn this machine any way I want, right? And it's not going to hurt anything.
Mm-mm.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. The only thing would hurt it is if you dropped it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, there's no...
no Freon.
No
you can
Freon,
turn your machine. I never knew if you could turn things. Yeah, got it.
If you're comfortable sewing upside down, it will be fine with it too.
Okay.
Okay, so this area is got a lot of moving parts, and I just get in there and oil every darn thing that moves. So you kind of look at it, and including the presser foot. Okay, and I'm going to start right there. I'm like, okay, there's a presser foot. Let's put a little oil on it. Top and bottom. Now, you want to make sure that you put some crummy fabric on it first because you don't want any of this sewing machine oil dripping on your fabric. Okay? So there's that. That was easy. I put a drop here because if you notice when you move it, there's stuff that moves through it. And then this also moves with your presser foot. Anything that moves gets oil. Then there's, let's see, we've got a gear here, and there's some hidden oiling ports on top of every one of these. Are these linkages, Rich? What are these things? Yeah.
Very similar to the A1 quilting machines.
Yeah. Every one of these, if they're linkages, if that's the right term, needs oiling. And there are some oil ports if you can find them. If you can't, just oil.
Almost when you turn the wheel, anything metal against metal.
Metal against metal gets oil. The worst thing that happens, it'll drip a little bit on your fabric, so make sure you run it first with fabric you don't care about. And this one will be oiled by this top port. So this one, I'm going to give it more oil because why wouldn't I? Okay, now I think... and then just the whole needle bar thing.
Shift my hand.
Just
dark carpal tunnel.
Oh, I'm sorry. That seems to be everybody has carpal tunnel.
I know it.
Okay, so I think I got them all. Okay, and if anything's clacky when you run it, clicky clacky, just go back and oil again and see if it goes away. So that's done. However many of the number of ports that we need to oil that was, I have no idea. And then the face plate goes back on. And we're done there. Okay, so then the next set of ports are underneath. So if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, let me shift to just a second here.
Okay.
How's that? Will that be okay for you?
Perfect. Okay, so then once again, I am guided by what moves. Okay, so, and there are ports. So,
is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Your head's in the way.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
There we
Okay.
go.
So then I'm just gonna, okay. So
let me
anywhere metal meets metal, or there's a
widen the shot
linkage.
for us. There we go.
Sometimes you can find an actual port. You know what? I bet it's the other way around, but it's not important. Okay, that like I can't see the oil ports because I would have to flip the machine over. But I'm just gonna oil every one of these little linkages. There are some stealthy ones that.
So when you say turn it over, you mean like this?
That way. I think some of the ports might be more visible. And this is going forward. Is that correct?
Forward isn't that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way.
No, I think it's this way.
Now you're going towards. Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you are
okay.
absolutely right. I'm wrong.
Okay, so there's a little port right here. You don't have to get in the port, but we just need to lubricate the linkage. There's a little port right here, and this.
Adds a noise.
Oh, sorry. Okay, there's a little port right here that allows the rod in the middle to spin freely. Okay. You just want everything to be working. Okay. Now there's some. Oh, sorry. There's some stealthy one. There's some super stealthy ones up here, and it's just and then this presser foot thing. These are stealthy, and then there's one hiding way the heck back here. Okay. Those it's the feed dogs. This is controlling the feed dogs, and I think I got them all. So where these rocker things go attached to the frame,
right
at every linkage where this rod spins, but not on the gears because that's a lube thing rather than a machine oil thing.
Got it.
The more rocker arms here, and that's why we have that felt to soak up any of this grease that leaks. Okay, so now then we've oiled it. Oh, hang on, while we have oil out. All that's left is the bobbin. So why don't we do that? If you just tip it forward, just so while we have the oil out, let's finish all the oil.
Is that right?
Not that. I'm sorry. The bobbin winder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. So there's like a little port on this bobbin winder that allows this to spin freely.
Just like on a bobbin winder on a long arm. People don't understand that on their freestanding bobbin winder.
Oh, we do all of that too.
You got to oil that little guy.
Yeah, and then some people oil this where this linkage is. I don't know that that's the greatest idea because I don't necessarily want that loose. When I push it into the belt, I want it to stay. So I'm not going to oil this.
Got it.
So I've seen diagrams that say oil it. I don't know that it would do any harm. So if it's stuck, if you need a hammer to move it, maybe it needs a little oil. But I'm going to leave it be because when I lower it, I want it to turn. I want it to stay engaged with that belt. I feel like maybe if this was looser, it might not.
Okay.
And I don't see that they put a port in there, so I feel like, well, maybe I don't need to. There is a big screw here that could be tightened, but it's also something you shouldn't have to fuss with ever, unless something, unless you could no longer move this, or if you wanted to paint it or something. Okay, so that is all the oil. We're going to move into the lube now. It's even quicker. See, it doesn't take very long even to do the whole job.
No, that's amazing. And it's also a lot more than I would have expected. Thank you.
It is a bunch of them. There's just look for the ports on the top and on the back.
I'll just watch the video every time.
Yeah, there you go. When you open up this side plate, oil every single thing that moves.
Got it.
Okay. When you flip it over, oil everything that moves, with the exception of the gears.
Follow and pause.
All these rocker arm things. That's controlling your feed dogs. That's controlling your stitch length. It's doing all sorts of. Some great designer made this all happen.
Yep.
And it all needs to move freely. And the only thing you don't oil are these gears, top and bottom, and the motor. So now we are gonna oil the gears. So let's start at the top. This is something maybe every 6 months. It is not a big deal. It's not frequent. Okay, so sometimes you get, this is actually pretty clean. Sometimes you get a featherweight, it's disgusting. It's
Now,
got just,
I'm gonna go in a little tighter there. I want to zoom, and I want to get there so that they can
Okay.
get a real. Oops, let me find the right. There, how's that?
yeah, but you're going to have to be holding it up. You don't need
That's
to
all right.
suspend it.
I'm happy.
Okay, this is really pretty clean. There's not a problem here. But if there was cruddy, just disgusting chunks of old oil, I just get in there with a brush, and a nice firm toothbrush is fine, just to remove some of the old stuff. This is not necessary for this one. It's fine. But if you do have these chunks that looks like wood, I mean, it just,
Do they get
yeah.
hard?
Well, they're always flexible, but like they turn to like chunks of plastic, kind of.
Got it.
Know? So that it wasn't necessary, but if you wanted to do that, or with a really old one, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll clean
More
this
like
out.
one of the eBay ones.
Well, yeah, we'll take a look. Okay, so then it doesn't take. This is the Featherweight Shop's So Retro Grease. Okay.
Got it.
One of these that you can get at their store will probably last you forever. And it's just the right tool for the job. I don't know what it is. Some people think it's Vaseline. I don't know what it is, but they spec'd it to be the right tool for the job. I'm not going to take a chance on my featherweight, using something like.
Don't use the white lithium that we used on the A1s. Use this. Order the right thing for the right job.
Don't use any lubricant that has solvent. Don't use WD-40. Don't use 3-in-1 because it has solvents that will ruin your paint.
Got it.
Okay? So use the right thing. Use sewing machine oil and use sewing machine grease.
Got it.
Don't use any household cleaners. They'll ruin your clear coat. So yeah, I mean, it's like, well, this is probably just as good. Well, if you get out the 3-in-1 or whatever, the lithium, it may have chemicals, cleaning chemicals that will do harm to the finish of your featherweight.
Got
So
it.
anyway, just squeeze a little bit. Doesn't take much.
Right on the teeth.
Right on the teeth. It's probably more than I need. It'll probably spatter a little. And I'll let it spatter.
Yeah, this is like the old A1 days when I had the A1 quilting machine. We had to grease our gears.
Yep. You know what? There's nothing like.
But boy, did it sound like a dream
It's
for
so
months.
great. Yeah. So there we go. There's that top gear done. I'll see you in 6 months. We're done, and then we're gonna flip it over to the bottom gears.
Okay, sorry.
And it's pretty much the exact same process. These are clean as a whistle. Maybe I'll remove a tiny bit of crud on that rod.
Oops, sorry, let me get.
They're clean. There's really nothing wrong there. I'm gonna do the same. Now I have a little better access here, so I'm gonna. Is my head in the way, Rich?
No, you're
Okay.
perfect.
This little syringe gizmo. It's pretty handy. I'm not very coordinated with it. And I put it on both. There's probably a little redundant, but oh well. And then this one will spatter, so put the cover back on. Head, sorry. It finally registered what you were saying.
I know.
I'm like, excuse me, is this regarding? I'm sorry, did you have something to say? I'm a little oblivious. Sorry. I have great focus, but I can't really multitask like at all. Two people are speaking, I hear nothing. Okay, so that's plenty. It'll spatter. I'll have the cover on and it'll spatter a little, and there we go. I do constantly lose these little covers, so there we go. Keep track of the cover. Okay, we just lubed it. The next time we do that for the gears is in 6 months. Okay,
So
and
face on for a second.
And then we're going to go to the motor.
Okay, let me get resituated here.
Let's put this on.
Put on the thingamabobby.
Yeah, I'm going to put the bottom cover on because if something's going to spatter, I want it contained.
Widen our shot when we go back there, and then we can adjust at that point. I'll hold this up, my dear.
Okay.
I'm your slave. Your bobbin boy.
Good grief.
I'll be your bobbin boy.
Would you get jumps?
Okay, there's a little black.
Right over there, right? Is that it? Right here? Oh,
It's
sorry.
like this little disc-looking.
Thingy.
Looks a lot like that. There it is.
Ta-da. So the other thing would be probably a magnetic dish to put our stuff and things in.
They are wonderful.
Yeah.
Then you know,
look at
and if you do take stuff apart, some of the fasteners are, even this, are really tiny. And so a magnet bowl is wonderful. And then if you drop it on the floor, Mr. Magnet Bowl will find them all. Okay? It's also good to find
for
needles.
pins, yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Get one. Get 10.
Okay. Side camera.
Okay, so we're going to put this back. Jamie's machine has a new felt here. It's nice and clean. So no need to change that out.
And those felts are available at the Featherweight Shop.
They are.
And they're cheap.
They're very cheap. And so if your featherweight's a little smelly, change that out. And all this brown here, if you look at the one that is more of a wrecker compared to this one, this is nicotine. Almost every featherweight I have dealt with is covered
That was a
in
generation.
nicotine, whereas the wrecker is clean. It was a non-smoker that owned that one. So this would come off with like simple green if it was important to you, but I wouldn't want to get simple green near any painted parts. It would ruin it.
Okay.
So this is part of the patina.
That's right.
It's whatever. Lucky Strikes,
That's
Campbell's,
right.
Virginia Slims, all
Oh
of
my
the above.
gosh.
Yeah. So that
Back
lovely,
then it was all homeworld.
I wouldn't even know what my dad smoked, Kent's or something
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
funny.
yeah, it's part of the patina.
It is.
So okay, so now we've lubed that. Then the one thing left to do is for lubrication is the motor. And okay, so a lot of times these motors haven't been lubed in forever, and there's a little port here, and there's another one here. Let's see. I'm going to use Mr.
tighten
Karen K.
up.
Buckley as my pointer. There's a point.
And I'm going to do this, and what I'm going to do is lift it up so that they can get a good visual. There.
Okay,
How's that?
so there's one port
I'm sorry.
here?
my dear. Okay.
and then there's one port here.
Is a hole?
Yeah. Okay. So, but there's a port, and then there's kind of a wick.
Okay, hold on. So this isn't a screw.
It's a lube port.
It's a port. Okay, I thought it was a screw. That's why I'm like,
Well, it
okay.
may have a screw mechanism in it.
Got it. Okay, so that little thing is not like a hole to screw something.
Well, it's holding the wick, and there's a spring.
Got it.
But the lube that's in it is probably old and filthy. So Featherweight Shop came up with this really good idea of taking like a plastic Q-tip, where am I? Q-tip stem, which will come with the lube, or if you find any little plastic. I don't even know. Do they make Q-tips with
they
plastic things? And what they want you to do is try to remove some of the old stuff. So you put this little thing in here, you twist it around, and it's actually not bad. I mean, this would be black, but yeah. So we just want to get the old lube out. This has been nicely cared for.
Well, I try.
The previous owner who got this for you did a beautiful job caring for this. Yeah.
Pick.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then the other port is right here.
Okay, sorry.
So we just want to remove the old stuff. And then we're going to insert new stuff. Now this is more black. This is more like dirty, greasy yuck. And it's not going to do a good job lubing if it's old and
full of garbage.
Yeah, old and dusty and burned and whatever else. So
Out
try
with
to
the old
remove
in
it.
with the new.
Okay, so then once we do that, You can just set it down.
Okay. Let me widen the shot for them.
Okay. So in these 2 ports,
Sorry.
okay, so this little syringy thing they sell you is handy because it goes right in there, and then you really, oops, I don't want to insert a bunch of air, so I want to, not that it's harmful or anything. I just want when I'm pushing it down, I want to know that there's,
It's like old medical days.
it's kind of like greasy Vaseline. I think it's probably just some, and then you really push. You push it in there, kind of seal it off, and you really, really push for 5 seconds. Because there's a big old wick in there, and you want it to, you know, kind of saturate that wick. Okay, and then when I pull it out, it'll probably some of the grease will probably just want to escape. But it didn't. And same thing with this one. Like, push hard for 5 seconds. And there you go. Okay. And then there's, so the lube is in there, but it's not melted. It'll go into the wick, and then it'll heat, and then it'll help the motor move more quickly.
Got it.
But it's going to take a little heat
Running.
to get it to that point. Some people use a hairdryer. I've never done that. I plug it in and run it. And you can hear it over like 30 seconds pick up speed.
Got it.
Okay, so let's plug this baby in.
Yes, sir.
Now that we're safe, we're not.
We could plug it in now, right, Rich?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm glad Rich is here.
Yes.
Yeah, I may know what the best practices are, but sometimes I just don't bother to follow.
Right? Okay.
I think you're right.
Yes,
I think you're
that is
exactly right. Does it seem? Yeah, it should seem pretty straightforward. Yep. It either works or it doesn't work. It's that simple. Now I'm going to push down on this and
All right, plug it in.
I just want the motor to run, so I'm going to undo this clutch because I don't want that needle to go up and down.
So needle doesn't have to go up and down. It's just like if you're binding a wobbin, right?
Well,
or winding a bobbin.
I want to run it longer than I would. And that, to me, that's just much of friction, and who needs that?
Makes sense.
So I loosened the clutch as if I was winding a bobbin. And maybe even over the course of a minute, you may hear it get faster. Hearing it.
So you're not changing speed with your foot?
I have it all the way down, pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I heard the change.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I mean, it might take longer, especially if your featherweight is really old. This one, I think, has been very well maintained. So there's really not even it's picking up speed now as that lube just melts.
I hear that. Yeah. Is it ever okay to kind of look?
Sure. Okay,
so that doesn't
let me put the clutch in. Let me put the clutch in.
Can I look?
Okay?
Is that safe?
Yeah, to keep your fingers out of there.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of moving parts.
Oh,
I'm going to lift this up just so.
Yeah.
Now, the lube will spatter.
Sure.
And no one will die.
No. Oh, it's so pretty. I love watching machinery work.
Oops, a little bit of grease just spun off. That's a pretty good speed.
That's nice.
I mean, it's not quite a 1,600 stitches per minute jukey, but it's not bad.
That's not what we use.
And it's smooth.
That's lovely.
Now, fortunately, everything that's spattered is either sewing machine oil or purpose-built grease, and it won't damage your clear coat or your paint.
Wonderful.
So don't use any 3-in-1. Don't use any WD-40. They have solvents in them that are super handy, but they're not good for paint.
I don't know that you said this. I know you were talking to me earlier
before we started actually filming over at the other table, and you said something interesting I didn't know, and I don't think you said it since we've been filming, but no Windex, none of that business.
No Windex, no 409, no Simple Green, no household cleaners at all anywhere near your machine. If you want to clean it, use sewing machine oil on an old T-shirt. It'll remove a lot of dirt and dust.
Okay.
I use car wax to shine it up.
Got it. Or Renaissance polish.
Yeah, Renaissance or so they're really high quality. Fancy, like what you would wax your Ferrari with, car wax. You know, some of them are actually a little sticky for my taste.
Yeah.
So I can't. The Renaissance is nice.
Yeah.
It's not sticky. I've had some car waxes that just almost leave it kind of
Well,
moist, and you're
not
like,
just
well,
that, but I will throw in a little caveat there, and that is we used to polish our old APQS rails with turtle wax and even McGuire's, and here's
Okay.
what we found.
What's
It
that?
has pumice. So some of the other
They have cleaners in them.
polish.
You're right.
So it's almost like, and I know that we were afraid after a while that it would scratch the rails eventually.
Right.
So
Now you can use like a car wax cleaner,
liquid kind of thing.
you know, with a fine, super fine pumice. You know, like nothing that if you wouldn't use it on the finish of your car,
Got it.
don't on the paint of your car. Don't get it near this.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
But yeah, so sometimes when one is dull, like that one,
Right.
rubbing compound or a car wax cleaner that precedes the wax, it can be good, but you want just a pure wax after it without any of the grit.
So our Mimi, just so you know, and this is just a little side note, our Mimi is she's normally from California where she has all of her stuff. And then right now she's in Georgia for a few years. That being said, when she goes to California, I'm taking a trip out there, and she, on that other machine, is going to walk me through how to actually paint it. And possibly she might have me do it, and I will film that for us. So,
Yeah, I used to paint them. I painted them for myself and a handful of friends, and then I started getting requests, and I was painting them for people, but it got to be such another deadline. I have a day job. It just got to be exhausting. So I don't do it anymore, but I'd be happy to let anyone know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to take these apart.
I'll film it.
And but the thing is, you need the right paint. If you're going to paint, you go and you get automotive paint, real automotive paint, not from like O'Reilly's, not the touch-up spray can that's in,
Sure.
you know, not that. It's not firm and it's not hard enough. If you sew on it, it'll just
Where?
it won't hold up.
Got it.
Real live automotive paint. It's a 3-step process with automotive primer, the color,
Mhm.
and the
Clear coat.
clear coat that's like an epoxy
Wow.
2-part. It's ridiculously toxic.
Right.
Don't handle it at all without proper ventilation and breathing.
Well, we'll do it, and whenever you go back to California, and there you go. Then they'll know.
The Featherweight Shop got my personal Featherweight Shop got closed when I put a long arm in my garage. So something had to give, and it was the Featherweights.
Yep.
So
The garage
you know,
studios changed.
you have to make choices.
That's right. Okay, so we've oiled, we've greased. That's all the greasing and oiling. Is that
That's all
correct?
there is.
Okay.
Now, I think that's maintenance.
That's regular. Well, actually, more than regular. That is
That's your startup maintenance.
That's your startup
Okay,
to make
so
sure.
there's one more thing to do. I think it's already optimized because this is speedy, but there's the motor.
Let me turn this.
The motor mount is this big screw right here. You don't necessarily need to see it, but just know it's there. It's like if you get a
I see
featherweight,
it. Right,
and it
right there, right?
exactly, and it's slow.
It's a screw.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a choice of where that adjusting the height of the motor adjusts the slack of the belt,
Okay.
and you want it just tight enough to turn. Any tighter, like if I were to, let's say, I would lower it.
Let me turn around so they can see
Okay,
what's
let me
happening
just-
with the motor.
Yeah. Okay. So I just lowered his motor. than lower than it was.
I guess we should unplug.
That would have been safe.
There you go.
Yeah.
There,
Okay.
we're unplugged.
Okay, we're so much safer now. Okay.
Yes.
So I purposely made this belt too tight. I loosened this big screw and I pushed the motor down.
This motor goes up and down,
up
correct?
and down. Yeah. And
With
you wanna,
that screw loosened that we just pointed out.
and then you tighten it up when you want it in place. So
Okay.
the belt is way too tight right now. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and when I let
now
me show you where that's at. So when I put my finger like this, I'm not pushing hard, but it's tight. And before it was a little more slack.
Now sometimes I have seen people do this when it's running because you can optimize it.
Where am I at here? Okay, there we go.
I don't know if that's unsafe or not, but it was the way I was taught.
Sure. Well, then
Okay.
you do it the way you were taught.
Why don't we plug it in?
Plug it in. Zzz.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you to put it down, Jamie, because it'll be obvious how different the speed of the sewing machine
Okay.
is. Okay.
I'm going to put that down and
Yeah.
let
okay.
me widen
now,
the shot.
Yeah. Now we have a belt that's way too tight.
Okay. How's that?
Okay. So it's still pretty fast, I gotta say.
Sounds nice.
You know what? There's nothing terribly wrong with it. Okay. So what we want to do is optimize it. We want it where it is fastest. We have a dog that's caught in the. Yes, I'm gonna unbuckle you. Yes. Sorry about this, folks. Okay. Here you go. There you go. We have an elderly corgi who is gumming up the works. Okay. So the way I was taught, which I don't know that it's unsafe or not, is to loosen this screw. The reason I'm using this fancy Wera screwdriver is because it's made for electricians. It's insulated, and it will not scratch your paint. Okay, so this is with purpose. If you do adjust this screw with a standard screwdriver, even with an insulated one, just be conscious that it's really close to your paint. Okay, so the right tool for the job. Okay, now it's super loose. This is just super loose. And I want to find the space that it's best. Okay. This is the way they taught me, so I don't know if this is right or wrong. So it's definitely, now it's too slack. And you want it just enough slack to turn. This machine is just too good, honestly, because it's just not giving me any lip whatsoever. It seems to be really happy. Okay, let me go a little lower, see if it's any worse.
That's
Honestly,
nice.
everything seems the same. So I'm just going to go with the rule of have it as loose as you can
Without
and
slippage.
have it, no slipping.
I would think that also saves the belt.
Belts last a really long time,
Mhm.
and while this one does have a little break in it, and maybe we could or not change it out, it's working so good
Yeah,
that I'm
good
like,
with it.
I don't want to mess with it.
So that's got some slack now.
You want it as slack as possible without it slipping.
I would say when I put my finger here and I push into resistance, you're talking about 1/2 to 3. When I'm up near the wheel, you're actually where you're going to get the most influx. Let me lift this up to show everybody.
Okay, we are plugged in. I'm going to move this off the floor so my dog doesn't step on it.
When I do this, it's going in about 3/4 of an inch on both sides. Just so you kind of have
Yeah, this one was super happy. It's a great machine. It's been well maintained. On one that the motor struggles a little bit more, the
Sure.
difference will be tremendous. You're like, okay, that's way too tight. This one, it seemed happy in any number of positions.
Wonderful.
So I just went with more the rule as slack as possible without slippage.
Got it.
But it didn't give me the
So
feedback.
what
It
are
was fine.
what are some symptoms? What are slippage symptoms? So slippage, will that cause sewing?
Well, because this turns and this engages your gears, so
Right.
your needle wouldn't move.
Got it. So if your needle isn't
So
moving, then
your motor's going,
belt's too tight.
but you're
Got
not getting. It's not transferring any
Got it. That way they know
Um,
when we're talking about slippage.
slippage. Yeah, it would
what's
literally
going on.
slide. Yeah. So you want it optimized so that you have as much speed as possible
Okay.
without slippage, and it'll be pretty obvious. I mean, here, let me just make it so loose that it actually slips.
You want me to hold it up?
Yeah, just hold it up a little, and I'll push down on this. See? Motor, no needle, okay? And then as we just let it sink slowly, let me see if I can find a place in between. Okay, slipping, and literally 1/8 of an inch lower. And I think maybe a little slipping there, so I'm just going to go another 1/8. This is a happy featherweight. I would be so confident taking this featherweight on to a sew-in or a retreat and know that I could get myself out of trouble if I needed to.
So at this point, with everything that you've done, face on. So at this point, with what we've done, this is there's no problem packing this baby up, going to a 5-day retreat, and knowing that you're in good shape.
Yep.
Yep.
I made a little list of troubleshooting things. Let's
Yes.
say you packed it up, you're on your way, you're confident, you're just having the greatest time, and
Won't work.
all of a sudden it just won't move. It's like locked up. If it's locked up, chances are there's a thread caught in the behind this. The bobbin case is out, and that would take a little. It wouldn't take a ton. You get a small screwdriver, loosen this up. This little thing swings out of the way. This kind of turns and removes. Usually there's thread stuck behind it. You don't have to retime or anything.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. I mean, I could. Let's see.
Let's show it.
Now, sometimes these parts are sticky and brittle.
Okay,
Okay.
so
In
let
fact,
me
that's
squeeze in.
exactly. Let's unplug.
Unplug?
Let's be smart about this, but
Okay.
even though I'm usually not. Okay. And do you have the littler screwdriver?
This
There
one?
we go. Yeah. Now, when I tried to fix this part for Amber, I broke it. Okay. So sometimes, best laid plans.
And these parts can be ordered through the Featherweight Shop.
You know what? I just don't know if I can do this, but it would, I don't think I can have it steady enough,
Okay.
but the steps would be loosen this, which may be a little bit glued shut from years. Okay.
Mhm.
Then you get this in the right position, and this is sort of like a moon shape, a crescent moon shape.
Yep.
And in the right position, it will swing open,
Got it.
and that allows this little piece, which I have a separate one. Just one second. There's an extra bobbin race. Okay, guys. This is a bobbin race. Okay, this is the part that is right here. Okay, so then once you swing this little crescent moon out of the way, which would take using the hand wheel, get it in the right position, allowing that crescent moon, the pivot point is right in here. Okay.
Mhm.
Once that's out of the way, then this turned a certain way,
A little higher.
you can remove.
Cool.
And usually there's thread right behind it. And
Oh, that's where it is. Okay.
That's
So I can see, if you hold that right up into the camera, that piece you're holding, the two holes. I see the two holes.
yeah. This is the bobbin
Yeah.
race.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Got it,
This
got it.
is the darn finger that
So where the
needs to
thread
be
gets
engaged
stuck
with this
is behind the two holes.
behind there, and that's what put so many featherweights into closets and attics for 50 years. Is thread behind the bobbin race.
Got it. Awesome.
It's so. Sometimes these parts are tight, and it takes a little doing. But it is totally solvable with the screwdriver problem.
Well, let me ask this, face on. So, okay, so you're at your retreat.
Mhm.
Before you retreat, this baby was running just like you made it run now. Okay. So typically at that point, there's no thread behind there.
There's not going to be thread behind there unless you turn your hand wheel the wrong way and the hook. This is like, look at this hook mechanism, you know. I mean, the hook is way the heck back here. If you turn it the wrong way, let me tell you, there's going to be thread going places you don't want it to go.
That's why
so
you
good,
don't.
Good
Yeah.
practices never run the needle without fabric in there. If you have thread top or bottom and you run it without fabric, you're going to get a problem.
Right.
Thread's going to wind onto something you don't want it to.
Leave it there, Rich, because I do want to remind our new people, and I know a lot of people are thinking about featherweights and maybe they want to come back to this. The proper way is, here is the sew side of the machine. You're sitting here. You always go this way, around, up and around towards you, up and around towards you. This, away from you and up and around, is wrong. Is that correct,
your
Mimi?
bobbin hook will make the biggest tangle imaginable.
Got it.
Same way with the long arm.
Same way with the long arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So don't ever do that and you won't have a problem.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
when you're winding a bobbin, usually when you're winding a bobbin, you are taking the bobbin case out because you ran out of bobbin, right?
Right.
Make sure there's no thread top or bottom when you're winding
Got it.
The only time you want thread top and bottom is when you have fabric going through it.
Okay.
Because if thread gets to form a stitch without fabric to contain it,
Okay.
it's gonna take tools and you're not gonna enjoy it.
How often do you take off your needle plate?
Well, I would certainly take it off when you first get it. And let me show you something, because there's another thing. So what was on that list of things that won't? It's not behaving.
Won't form a stitch.
The most common thing when it just won't form a stitch, you know, that the bobbin and the top thread are not locking, is your needle's in backwards. So the flat side of your needle is not along the flat side of the needle plate. It's super easy to put it in backwards. It's like it will fit, it will tighten,
Sure.
you know, but the needle will be in the wrong position
Got
to
it.
catch the
That
the
happens
bobbin
with long
hook
arms.
won't.
When we get calls.
They're like in different counties. I'm sorry, we've never met. Bye. You know.
Yep.
So if it won't form a stitch, chances are your needle's in backwards. If it's just not behaving, change out your needle. Get rid of the needle.
Got it.
It's the leading edge of your sewing experience. They're cheap. You know, get rid of it. It might be the problem. And then if there's some unfamiliar thread you're using, try a tried and true thread.
Yep. Stick to your thread.
Someone says, but I really need this pink. It's like, well, then we're gonna have to find a pink that's this weight.
Yeah. No church hopping.
Yeah. So it's the biggest problems are usually the needle's broken, barbed, something, just like any sewing machine. The needle can be in backwards, very easy to do on a featherweight, or the threads are just not featherweight happy.
Got it.
And every featherweight has its own taste, its own
Bad
preferences.
stitches.
Bad stitches is usually thread.
Okay, so you're using the wrong thread.
Yeah, and then you fuss with, if you have it all dialed in, if you've got your bobbin tension decided, then, you know, you can adjust your top. This is more like when you pull it out of the box and get bad stitches. Chances are it's tension or the thread.
Okay.
Start with the thread first.
This guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is not a million things. This is just tensioner.
Upper tension.
Plus down. Plus down.
Yeah.
Is there anything that ever needs maintenance here?
Sometimes these are just dirty from
Okay.
years of sitting around and flossing it just like you would, you know, with
With your
a
long arm.
thread.
Okay.
You know, just flossing it to make sure it's not. If there's a little hunk of thread caught in there, that's going to throw off your tension.
So we never take this apart.
Well, I have taken it apart.
Okay.
It's not fatal at all. But you wouldn't need to take it apart unless there's a problem or if you want to paint it.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of a puzzle to put back in, and there's some stuff. But that book, the Featherweight 221 and I,
Yes.
has every diagram, every instruction, everything.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so it's possible, and but I would think you could get in there with clean without taking it apart.
Okay.
You could even get in there with superfine sandpaper or something if you feel like there's something disgusting dirt down there.
Before we talk about needle plate, can I ask some just stupid questions on my part? Okay. So, what's this?
That is your presser foot downward pressure. That's another thing. If somebody plays with this and the correct position for this is with a 1 to 2 threads showing, okay? But sometimes people get exuberant and clean something, and it's way high or way low, and you'll get a bad stitch.
So when you say threads, you mean right in
there. Yeah.
between there and the head.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
this is like thick fabric, thin fabric.
So that you do want to play with that.
Well,
Depending on
I
what
don't
you're
play
doing.
with it much because I mostly piece with quilter's cotton. Okay,
Right.
I don't tend to switch between upholstery fabric and
Right.
chiffon.
Got
Okay,
it.
so I tend to leave it alone. But sometimes our friend Chrissy was cleaning hers, and this will remove. You can put it back, and it was just maybe so low that it wouldn't. It's amazing how the the
Got it.
downward pressure really affects the stitch on this particular machine.
Got it. So now needle plate.
Right. Okay. Often when a machine has been in an attic or a closet or a barn for decades, it's been well used, and there's just a lot of lint in here that is just, like I said earlier, it's felted. It's something else. Okay, so it should be checked when you first get your machine, for sure, and then maybe once a year, hold the needle plate and clean it up like you would any sewing machine.
Got
Probably more frequently on. I know my FAF sewing machines are incredibly picky. If there's the slightest speck of lint in there, they refuse to sew. Okay, but sometimes when people do this, there's just an important set of steps that need to happen. If you're at a retreat, like, oh, let me clean out your feed dogs, and you're like, great, thank you, and then your machine won't run afterward.
Got it.
And the reason it won't run is that this needle plate, there's this little gap here that is integral to your bobbin assembly holding steady. Okay, so when we move the wheel, this finger holds the bobbin steady while the hook zings around your bobbin. If this finger is not fixed with the help of this needle plate, the whole thing will zing around, and there will be no sewing.
I want to do this. Let me grab my. Hold on. Let me get my zoomer in her. I want to see this finger because you've said the finger a few times, and I don't know quite.
Okay. Well, here's a bobbin race that has said here. Let me put it with a white background. This is the part that is here, and here's the darn finger. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I don't know if we can see it.
Yep.
Fully
Now
there.
I do.
And in this little gap is what's holding it in place. So it's not like screwed in place or anything. It's just being held by the needle plate.
Got it.
Okay. And so when people put the needle plate back, this by gravity will just.
So the
slump.
part that's not spinning, that finger sticking up at 12-ish o'clock-ish.
Yep.
That's
That's
finger
holding
you're
your
talking
bobbin
about.
case absolutely still.
And that changes, and when you remove the needle plate, then that flops.
It'll flop.
Okay.
Which we can show you right now.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
So
do it.
if you don't put this back, which sometimes takes a bit of coordination, because you're working here, you're setting this in, you're setting that in, you might need a buddy, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but you can get really frustrated if you don't, my machine worked perfectly before, and now it doesn't work at all. What in the world? This finger is probably not in its right location.
Okay.
So we're going to show you how to avoid that problem.
Yay! Okay, so I'm going to put this down. Okay, and let me zoom back out so we can get a good visual. How's that, Mr. Ritchie? No, not yet.
Okay, beautiful. Okay.
There we go. How's
so, when you...
Look at that tool.
Isn't
Show that
cool?
tool.
Because sometimes it's so hard to get around the curves and everything.
Oh, and you could scratch stuff and things.
Yeah.
No
so
way.
I don't... This isn't a Featherweight Shop thing. This is probably an Amazon thing.
I've seen it
little
at
ratcheted
Lowe's.
thing.
I likey.
Okay, let me switch the ratchet so I'm untightening. Those little screwdrivers you have for your long arms, those little ones, are wonderful for featherweights too, in some of these not so accessible locations where you just want those little short screwdrivers are great. Yes, if you're not selling them anymore, Amazon is a 3-pack.
That's right. I don't think we are we, Rich?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We sell
used
those.
to.
Well, until we said that. But.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so yeah. So you want to anything you do on your featherweight, you want to do it in a way that doesn't scratch paint, you know.
Yes.
So
Always gentle.
just be careful. Use your fingers, you know. Use a cloth. You just something to
protect your finish.
Exactly.
Got it.
I mean, they all get used, and that's fine. You know, the signs of use are part of it. The little pin marks, and you know, sometimes I've seen these decals half rubbed off to the silver because so many layers of fabric went over it. And honestly, it's lovely. But you don't need a big old scratch from a screwdriver.
No.
Okay, so we undo these 2 screws. Also with the featherweight is like, it's almost impossible to put it together wrong because it will only go one way.
Got it.
If you're getting resistance, you're doing it wrong because it's machined so smart
Got it.
that you can only put it in correctly or not at all.
Okay.
Okay, so we undid those 2 screws and then we just lift this up, okay? And you're always working this extension table and the needle plate and everything, you know, they don't always get along, you know, so it's a little bit of a dance to like, okay, now I've removed it.
Yay.
Okay, it doesn't look bad, like
Okay.
at all. Do I have
Mr. Ritchie, I'm going to use my phone to show them what we're seeing.
And I think I have a cleaner regular sewing machine brush somewhere. I don't want to use the cruddy one.
Let me show that, and if you don't, I think I have one in the other room. Okay.
I'm waiting for you.
Am I on yet?
You are now.
Yay.
Got one.
That's not bad.
It's really pretty clean. This has been a really nicely cared for machine. So, you know, you would use a brush like this. You know, don't get your cruddy, greasy, no, not the right tool for the job. Regular, like, let's get lint out of a sewing machine brush, or those lovely ones that Jamie uses on his long arms, you know.
Can I ask more silly questions?
Of course you can.
So I see 2 screws. Have you ever taken those screws out?
Yep.
Okay. When would you do that?
When I would paint it, I would remove that.
Got it.
Because I don't want that's just the feed dogs, and they go back without a lot of
So there's no drama.
difficulties.
That's a no
drama.
thing. Yeah.
And I would remove it, especially if I really wanted to clean it, or I thought that I couldn't mask it properly.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you can take that off, but
Yeah.
you
What's
probably
under
don't
there?
ever need to.
I'm just curious. What's under there?
Well, the rocker arms.
Okay. But nothing like yeah. So it's not. This isn't a once every 6-month gig.
All we want to do is
Or a
remove
year.
lint.
Yeah, you're
you
just
know?
removing
We're
lint that's on the
removing
top.
lint.
Got
We're
it.
not servicing any parts.
Perfect. So there's nothing. Yeah.
If something is frozen up, you know.
Oh, hold it. I see table through there. So that's, you already have access to underneath there when you flip it upside down.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the hook.
Smart. That's the
Yeah,
hook.
that's your bobbin
That's
hook
the
in
hook
there.
stuff. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. So a user would, I mean, I've only taken those apart when I'm breaking down a whole machine to paint it. Not, and you don't even need to.
Got it. Okay.
The feed dogs are linked to those rocker arm things
Yep.
underneath
That you oil.
that is controlled by this stitch limiter, and that allows the feed dogs to go higher, lower, and back and front.
So I'm doing this.
Yeah, see how that's changed? That you're seeing the difference in the feed dogs when he's doing the
So that's for
reverse
backwards.
and
That's for
forward.
forwards. Okay, got it.
Okay, and then there's other adjustments that
Side
you
rich.
probably would never have to make, but I have made when I put a machine back together. That if you can adjust, like if you think your feed dogs aren't high enough or too high, there's ways to adjust it underneath, but chances are you'll never need to do it.
Got it.
When I put it back together and I put this back in, I have to adjust everything, but it's a one-time thing.
Got it.
You know,
Okay.
to make it these feed dogs do what I want it to do. If I don't have it adjusted right, it'll ram into this.
Okay.
The needle plate will like thunk, thunk. You know, it's like, well, that's not right.
But you'll hear it.
Oh, you'll hear it. Yeah. Okay, so now it's clean, right?
Right.
We're like, cool, I'm clean. I'll just put this back. I'm good. Yeah, everything is right with the world.
Screw it
except
in.
for it's, well, don't do, yeah, ordinarily. But guess what?
You haven't lined it up yet.
Not at all.
You haven't fingered it.
The finger is out of position.
Yeah, I see
and
that.
now when we turn this, the whole dang thing spins, and then the finger will run into the top, but not in the right position.
And it won't sew.
Yeah, and then it'll flop down.
That's
and you will not be happy. And
freaking
there will
amazing.
be many swear words, okay? So it's the simplest thing in the world. This extension table is always a little bit of a problem, okay? So you need to get this out of the way, lift the needle thing a little bit, get that finger back in position, which I think you have to have this extension table low. Okay, and then I think if you were to turn the hand wheel,
Okay.
let's see if this,
So,
I've done something wrong. I think the needle plate's out of position. What's wrong here? Yeah. So it takes some fussing with it. Okay, now turn the hand wheel and see what happens. Okay, now it looks like that finger is holding real steady.
let me come over here and let me get that in shot.
I don't have anything screwed in yet, so that's why I'm holding it. So I think that bobbin race is holding really steady.
Okay.
The finger, which is right here, is in possession. Okay, I think we can lift this now that I have it in place. The needle plate won't go back into position without the extension table being down. But now that it is in position, that's correct. So if the finger's not in here, you can't sew. Okay, so that's a really common deal breaker for someone you playing with a featherweight. Oh, let's clean out these feed dogs, put it back together. Nothing works. So it's easy to fix, but it does take a little coordination because the needle plate won't go in and out unless this extension table is down.
Okay.
So you have to get that in, and then you have to sneak this finger in. So sometimes it takes a little coordination.
So hold that thought. So we see what you did down there, and I just want to show people this. Just a second here. Okay, just a second. Let me hit that. Let me hit that. Just a second. Okay. All right, Mr. Ritchie. Okay, so there. So what she was doing, show them what you were doing from this angle with that needle plate. You were kind of bringing it up a little bit to get it in position.
So let me just start over. Okay, needle plate out. And we can probably, I'm running into the needle.
You need me to turn it a little bit?
Let's get this needle out of the way. Okay, so the needle plate, let's say it's out. And
By the way, we did that forward. We didn't do it backwards.
Yeah.
So just
this will only come out if this extension table is flat. Okay?
Got it.
It will not go in and out if this is
Got it.
bent. And you want it bent to be able to access your bobbin, so you know you've got a conflict from the get-go.
Right.
Okay? And you can see over here that now
Side camera.
Side camera that
Oh my. Hold on.
I think you got it right
There you
there. Yeah, that this finger has already flopped. It is sitting right over here, not where it should be. It should be at noon o'clock. So once you release it from that needle plate, it's going to just flop. Gravity's just going to move it. Okay, so let me show you from the top what we do, and then how I wiggle it in place. So the needle plate will only go back in with the extension table down. Now, Jamie, do you have it on your phone?
I do.
Okay, so I'm going to put, you may want to remove the foot or not, but I'm going to put the needle plate back in the only way I can with the extension plate down. Okay?
Yep.
I'm not going to put screws in or anything. Okay? And I'm going to hold it with my finger. And
Yep.
if you don't have a friend, hold it with blue masking tape.
Got it.
Okay? So then we're going to go underneath And now that the needle plate is in position, I can get this extension table out of the way.
And you have a friend, so I can hold this for you.
Okay. And then I'm going to manually bring this finger up and just sneak. Oh shoot, now I need it flat. Sorry. I'm going to just lift it barely.
Go on the top, Rich. Go on the top. Okay, so watch
We're
what you
lifting
do that again.
it barely
Lifting that up
with
just
the
a little
extension
bit.
table flat.
That's what I wanted them to see.
Okay, and then I'm underneath. I'm under the extension plate. Sneaking this finger into where it goes. It's in good. I make sure that's now nice and flat, and I lower the whole kit and caboodle.
Now you can go to the side. All right.
Okay, and then I'll put the screws in. But now it is working.
Ta-da! Well, that was
And then I
awesome.
take the
Oops, sorry,
screws
love.
from my magnetic plate.
I'm going to move this over a little bit. I'll make you crazy, sorry.
Not at all. You can get a dirt cheap magnetic plate at Harbor Freight.
You know, you're holding up awesome. This has been many hours. Everybody, I don't know how he's editing
Coffee
this, but
is
this
a
has
beautiful
been many
thing.
hours. What is it? I'm on my 4th or 5th cup.
I'm on, you know, there's coffee is the reason to get up in the morning. I thought this was going to ratchet. Close.
Probably needs to be a little tighter.
You know what? I should just tighten it by hand until I need to.
Do the back one a little bit. Hey, Riley, you're holding up well too. You're doing very good.
Okay, so this Featherweight Shop recommends one of these long ones, which you can certainly do. Just be careful to not scratch paint. And they have an even longer one, which I don't know that it really buys you anything. But you can access these without damage. And that's probably, maybe that's even easier than one of these. I'm not very coordinated with this. I mean, I guess it would work once it's, you know, just that final tightening would work pretty great. Yeah. And so then we're in, and the finger is fixed, and the bobbin would hold still, and the hook would go around it. And then you can form stitches.
Yummy. Wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
So then you can just sew all weekend.
That's right.
The only thing this isn't good is for a jelly roll race because it doesn't fast enough. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
At one of
Absolutely.
our
That's awesome.
retreats, someone started out with a featherweight and switched sewing machines during the race. It was pretty funny.
Okay, so
That's how to maintain it
we've
and
done
how
all
to
the things.
just, you know, get it going.
Bobbin case is out.
Yeah. So
So we don't want the bobbin case in because I want to hear this baby. I want to
yeah,
hear
let's
it.
leave the. We
I
don't
wanna
want thread.
hear
We
it.
don't ever have thread in unless
No thread.
unless we're actually
Don't want to
dealing
do
with
that thing.
fabric because it'll do nothing but tangle it.
Although, on the next episode of the Featherweight, which we're gonna film this Saturday, because we're done. Right? This is basic maintenance. This is it.
I'm tired. Yeah.
This is it. So I say on Saturday, then we do. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do timing.
Yeah, we're gonna take the older paint ready one, and we're gonna. I can't make it
Face
pretty,
on.
but we can make it so.
Face on. Perfect. I think he's asleep.
Can't see the machine face
I think he's shopping. Well, we're not doing the machine thing right now. We're
I
talking
thought
about
you-
what we're going to do Saturday. So
I
Saturday,
thought
we're
you
going
were
to
on
do
Vines.
what we are in just a second. So what are we going to do Saturday?
We're going to use the 1938
Yep.
that we know needs a bobbin assembly, and we have. I really don't know what shape that's in.
Yeah.
And so we're going to, as if we just got this eBay. Maybe it's been sitting in an attic 50 years. We're going to install the bobbin assembly, which will require us to time it.
Okay.
And that's, you know what, it's good to know that you can time it even if you don't ever want to.
Okay.
Because it's just like, oh, I know I can do this. I know it can be done.
And I will have done all of the greasing, oiling, all the things we did on that today, because I will have done that on Friday's class with that machine.
Okay.
Sound good? And then all we have to do then, it would be the timing and putting on that thingamabob.
Well, this one might take a little more cleaning. Like that, when we pull the needle plate, there might be a dead animal in there.
So that would be
is
good
possible.
to see. Yes.
I don't know that it's been really. When I got them, I always checked that they ran and formed a stitch before I took them apart,
Okay.
because it's silly to, if I'm trying to reassemble it,
Right.
to well, did it work in the first place? So I would always check. So it probably has been checked, but I didn't necessarily do a real thorough job
Sure.
cleaning it or anything. So there might be a dead animal there.
Awesome. Okay.
And its motor might need a little more.
Adjusting care.
Yeah, because this has been beautifully cared for.
Okay. Well, you
Really.
won't know it's next Saturday because it'll be 5 seconds from whenever we end here.
Okay.
All right. So
Now,
I
you
wanna
wanted to
hear
run this. You wanted to hear it.
I want to turn on the light. Ooh, new light.
There we go. It is
Magic.
nice. It's
All
really
right.
nice light.
You get the first drive.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now, looking at it, when I started it, it's kind of slipped a little,
Okay.
but now it isn't, okay? So now that it's some featherweights want you to help turn it.
I've seen that. I've
Now,
seen people do
we could tighten it up and you probably never have that problem, but if it annoys you, we're going to tighten up that, we're going to lower that motor a little bit.
Okay.
But that's a nice featherweight fur.
that. Wonderful. All right.
I don't hear any clicking and clapping.
Right.
None. I hear the engine, I hear the gears, and I hear the bell. But I don't hear any click,
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Yay. We already know it sows like a dream now.
All right, everybody. So there we have it. That is the end of this part before we move into our next part of our wonderful featherweight fun. So we will see you on the next reel. Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Jamie.